Marcy Willier with Urban Acres Real Estate weekly head coach interview. Coach Pedersen, he's the head coach, so that's who we interview. 7-0, big win last week against Regina. You talked about, again, I say it every week, the schedule keeps getting harder and harder and harder. This team keeps continuing to play well and doing a lot of good things, Coach Pedersen.
Yeah, they really have. They've come on. They've worked hard since the beginning of the year, and now every practice they're busting their butts, and that's what we really want them to see. I think the real key here is that they really care about each other, that they really are a family, and I think that's vital when you're going to have a football team, that they really have to have each other's back.
And you can see that when you're at practice, you're in games, that these kids are picking each other up. They're patting each other on the back when they need a little, hey, it's going to be okay. It's one play. The next play is your best play will be the next play, picking each other up and just being, you're right, a family. And you don't say the better teams, the good teams, they just have that.
All of my quality football teams really did care about each other, and you could kind of tell and look back and see kind of which ones really had that, and maybe which ones needed to be maybe a little better at it. This team's doing a really good job at that.
Wilton this week. Now, they started the season off hot. They've ran into the buzzsaw that is Class 1A District 5, and they got West Branch this week. They are a very, very young football team coached by Ryan Hetzler, a guy that coached with you up in the Shrine Bowl, a younger coach, a good coach, and he's got a very young team that's hungry.
Ryan is a really good football coach. He was my defensive coordinator when I was the head coach in the Shrine Bowl, and I had a great time with him. Respect him a lot, and he's got 8 sophomores that start, and they're all going to be really good football players down the road. So I know they're going to be hungry for this football game. It's the last game of the year for the varsity team down there.
What do you expect to see from them from an offensive perspective? They've got the number 1 passing yardage quarterback in the district. Their rushing game is pretty solid. What do you expect to see from them defensively against our offense?
Well, we probably don't really want to talk about that.
I mean, just from the physicality that West Branch comes with every week, you can see Wilton's kind of starting to develop that too.
Oh, there's no question. Wilton kids they're wrestling community as well, and they love wrestling, and they're going to be physical, and they're going to be well coached, and I'm excited to play against Ryan and his group. Down the road, they're going to be hard to play with, so there's other schools in the area are going to have to make sure that they try to catch up with Wilton's young kids, because they are very good.
And how about this senior class? We talked about it last week being senior day. They get a victory at West Branch at Little Rose Bowl last week to go 7-0. Can maybe be the 19th team in the history of the program if they could win this week to close it out, an undefeated season out. A very special, small, but very special and talented senior class.
Yeah, absolutely. I just couldn't be any happier with them. And, the first off as well, now they're undefeated. We're undefeated. So the football high school program at West Branch is 14-0. And that's pretty impressive, to be honest with you. And the junior high teams are getting better and better, so we're in a very solid position right now for our football program.
Well, let's hope you can close it out on Friday, and then the second season begin. The first 8 games are great. Then we can turn the page, but the first page being Friday night in Wilton.
That's right. We want to go down there and be undefeated and etch these kids' football program into history, because that's what's going to happen when we win the football game. How many did you say we had?
This will be number 19.
19. That's pretty amazing, to be honest with you. Yeah. And these kids are really hungry for that, because we have talked about that, and they're ready to go.
Well, that's Coach Pedersen. This is the Marcy Willier with Urban Acres Real Estate head coach interview on WestBranch.Football.